Alright guys, what is going on? How are you doing, beautiful people? David Hammond back here with another tutorial, guys, or a vlog tutorial. Let me give you a little debrief on what's going on, okay? What we're getting ourselves into for this tutorial or this vlog tutorial on street photography. Now, bit of disclosure, guys, I'm not a massive street photographer by any means, but today I am, okay? I'm trying to get into it. I mean, considering I have downtown Toronto, maybe like half an hour away from me. But the reason I am today is because there is an Asian food festival market kind of deal. My girlfriend sent me it. She can't go because she's doing something else, but I'm free. I can go, and it's one day. Today's the last day, so it's only on the weekend. You know, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Today is Sunday. And I am Asian. I don't really think that matters, but yeah, I just figured that with street photography, that would be an amazing place to go because there'd be so many people, so many vendors, so much like street food. Like, that's ideal when you think of street photography. So yeah, I am making a vlog tutorial today with you guys, bringing you along on how I do street photography. Now, again, like I said, I'm not a massive street photographer, but I'm going to be learning and shooting kind of as you guys go, because I've been doing photography for, 3.5 years now, photo and video. So we're going to run with it. I just wanted to give you that little debrief here because when I get there, it's going to be packed. You will not be able to hear me. I have the GoPro, I have everything packed in this little tiny bag right there, which I spent like literally 20 minutes trying to like combobulate, trying to figure out how each piece can fit. Enough talking, let's go downtown, get on the GO train, and find our way down to this Asian street food festival. So let's get it going.
Like, yeah. Right. Right.
Alright, so we just got off the train. It takes us right there, which I didn't know. I asked the lady and it was amazing, so I thought I had to walk an extra like half an hour to get here because you usually get off at Union, but apparently it takes you right here. I don't come downtown too much, so anyways, it felt so cool. So I'm just gonna follow the crowd and hopefully we get to the place. See you guys there. And guys, alright, we are here. If the sun looks a lot lower, that's because it is. I forgot to tap off on the Presto because my thing is set, so I got all the way here. It was like a 20-minute walk. I realized I walked all the way back, tapped, it came all the way back here, but it's okay because I actually wanted the sun to get lower. Now, as perspective's sake, guys, there's a lot of people. It's not as big as I thought it was, but I'm actually, like, I'm okay with that. And what I was doing is I was scoping it up to see kind of compositions I already like, and I see quite a few, so let me show you. It starts right there, that's where you get on, and all this, all the smoke, and it ends about right there, so all there, okay? Now, obviously, we are going to get street photography. This may be called street food photography at this point because there's clearly not too many buildings. It's more just street food. So I may call this street food photography. Anyways, guys, we're going to get it going. I don't know if I'm going to be using the GoPro or not because I didn't bring that head strap. I'll see if I can, but regardless, we're going to get going. We're going to get cracking. The sun's getting lower, so let's get some photos going. Alright guys, welcome back to another voiceover with the GoPro. Now the first thing I'm grabbing to get this shoot going is my zoom lens. Now this zoom lens is a 55 to 250 millimeter lens, which is amazing for street stuff or really anything that I need to do a reach. Alright, so I'm pointing to the first location right there with the booth and tent, and we're going straight to it, guys. So with the GoPro, like I said, I did not put it on my head, or I'm not going to. I don't want all of that attention, so I'm just placing on a little tripods or holding. Now the first thing I'm doing, guys, really is just waiting for the scene to happen. I'm just scoping it out, right? Because before you end up shooting, you really have to just let, like I said, the scene unfold, okay? What you're doing is, or what I like to think with photography is I am documenting opposed to creating. And what I noticed, especially with street photography, is that this is the case. I really don't want to create any scenario. I'm just simply documenting natural things that are happening, okay? So once I did that, I went to another spot, the same thing, but of a different angle, I guess you could say. And this is just, what I found naturally happened with street photography because I can't control the people, moving in front of me, right? I can't just tell the models, at least with candid street photography, to just like, look my way, smile, do this, turn, can you put your hand up here, sit this way, I didn't want to go for that, so I would just move around them opposed to the other way around, okay? So it worked, it was okay, nothing too crazy, but then I came across this stand here. Really, I'm just moving around, guys, I'm experimenting, I'm finding new areas, and I'm seeing what works. So again, placing the tripod wherever I can find a place that's convenient, and I am shooting away. Now I believe this place was pretty dope. You know, the first area, meh, it was okay. Here we were warming up. Now if you guys noticed, I purposely came at golden hour, and that was because if you can see behind me, we have some nice golden light. So I really noticed the case with these guys because you were able to see a nice backlight hitting them from the side. Okay, now you may think that this really is that's not needed, but it's a nice it's a really nice effect. It's a very subtle effect being backlit or side lit and seeing a bit of glow. But with these photos, to me at least, being a visual person, it really it shone through. All right, so at this point I have a little bit of photos. I'm content. I'm not super happy, but, I'm like, okay, this is actually going all right, not too bad. So we're just scouting, guys. We're just looking, and obviously you can see there are a ton of people. Like, I'm rubbing shoulders and just scooting by from everybody. So a dude with a GoPro and a camera, I had quite a few eyes on me, I will not lie. Anyways, what I do is I managed to find this area, this get off right here, right? There's this beautiful view overlooking the entire landscape of all the people. So what I do is I managed to scurry my way across in here. I move past this dude and I plop down on this rock. Okay, with that we set up the GoPro and we're trying to get some landscape shots, okay, some wider shots, because prior what I had was the zoom lens, the 55 to 250, so I was getting, of course, more closer, intimate portrait shots, right? And honestly, guys, I can just recall and remember this being the one time of just peace and stillness, out of the entire shoot, which was, obviously hectic. You can tell around. I was actually really enjoying myself at this time because just that, it was so still and calm. So snagged a few nice landscape shots. Really liked it with the entire depth, the width, just seeing everybody around, some nice colors, and then gave it that slightly vintage look. Okay. Once that was done, guys, I realized, all right, David, it is go time. Let's go snipe some people. So we smacked on the 24 mil, went back out into the battlefield, and I knew at this point I really had to get up and close, right? Really what street food photography is all about. So with that, guys, I'm going right up to people at this point, and I'm just snagging photos, okay, left, right, and center. And at this point, this is actually when the photos began to turn out, okay? Believe it or not, like when I went up close, ironically, the scariest or the trickiest was actually the best. So with that said, guys, I'm now just moving up to any booth I see, and I am just shooting rapid fire shots. Okay, so I remember this shot here of the muscles. I really like this, the depth, the composition, and the colors. Was stoked on that. Now moving on to this one. This was actually one of my favorite shots. Okay, it was very quick. You remember that guy with the blue goggles? I went right up to him, took a photo, he looked, and that was it. So ready for it, wait for his look. Ready, boom, 3, look, gone, boom, KO. That there, guys, was one of my favorite shots. Okay, I snagged him, he looked, got it, and it was finished. And I remember that vividly from the night, like not knowing, is this gonna look good, is it gonna turn out bad? Like I really couldn't tell at that point, but once I looked at my camera, I was absolutely stoked. So moving on to the next photos, I really liked these guys. Okay, I just remember these guys, like they were like a dynamic duo. They were like almost like brothers or something like that, cooking up. We had really nice depth with the meat, the smoke giving off this nice mist effect, and I was just super stoked with the shot overall. So I really liked that. Finally, guys, I put this little ice cream stand in here. I did take a picture of this guy. I don't know if I'm putting it in or not. I didn't really like it too much, but basically, like, there were a ton of miscellaneous photos that I did take that I didn't really include in here, but it was the same idea. I just took the ones that I liked, I kept them in, and I kept it moving forward. So that was that actually for my behind the scenes process of how exactly I shot it. What I am going to do as we're overlooking this last little bridge of the sunset is I'm going to do another recap and really explain some benefits and give you guys advice on street photography back on my main camera. So let's do that now. And guys, we are back home now. It is a few days later, edited up the photos, the video, the voiceover, everything you just saw, and we are now in my room. I know it's a little messy, but we're gonna run with it. So with that said, guys, I kind of wanted to give you guys some takeaway, advice or tips or tricks or things I learned about street photography. Whether I call this street food photography or street photography, it's really the same idea, same concept. I wasn't able to give too many tips and tricks while actually in the voiceover because it was just so run and gun. Like I didn't really have time to sit down and just even set the camera. It was just so fast paced. So that was more so what it looked like. Now let me explain some actual tangible tips and things that are takeaways, like I said. So first off, the first thing that comes to mind, guys, is the scarier the better, okay? Now this may sound obvious to some of you guys, but it may not. Initially, like you saw, I started off right from the get-go with a zoom lens, the telephoto, the 55 to 250 lens. So with that, I was able to reach and zoom to a lot of people, almost to like capture them in their booths when I could stay safe on like a rock or something like that. And that was okay, don't get me wrong. But the thing about that was that I could only do so much, right? I could only get so close. You know, with the zoom lens, like I told you guys, or like you saw, I had to reposition quite a few times because a lot of times people would get in the way, or, you know, they would turn their backs, or I just couldn't feel the liveliness, the same experience from that distance away. So what I naturally began to do was I put on lenses that were closer and closer and closer. So I believe I experimented with the 50 millimeter lens that I have, which is equivalent to 80 mil on my camera. It was getting better, but it was still too far. Right, it was still too far. I needed something closest. What you guys noticed near the end to halfway when the real photos began to come through was I slapped on the 24 mil lens, which is quite a wide lens. Like I believe most people do street photography with around like a 35 mil lens. So even further, like a 24 is wide. Like I have to go close to these people, but that's actually when the magic began to happen. And the reason for that was because it literally forced me to go way up close into their zone, into their bubble, into their aura almost, and capture their natural essence, right? And I think that's why the photos, work so well, because you could literally feel them, regardless if they were smiling or like the composition was perfect, you could literally feel their vibe, their essence, and that, without a doubt, like that was the highlight. Now in the actual GoPro, I wasn't able to showcase everything because I didn't GoPro everything. But my favorite photos, whether I put them now here or over there, were just that. I would go right up close to these guys and I would shoot them. Now sometimes they would look at me, sometimes they wouldn't. That really wasn't the point or the essence of it. It was just to capture them in their raw form. So one of my favorite ones, if I haven't put it in yet, was a guy, and he was just like chilling like this on his stand, and he saw my camera, so he smiled, and I loved that. Or the two brother guys that I use that analogy to them, just like the chemistry with them. You could see the guy was like looking up to him. What else? Like the grandma one where like you could see her talking to people. So I will definitely make more, I'm surprised. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. So this was kind of like an intro street food, street photography. I'm gonna definitely be making more of these vlog-torials down the road. I am stoked on the final products. I'm stoked on the final takeaways. And I hope you guys were able to learn something from this through me shooting the first time, what I learned, and helping you guys. So with that, please give this a thumbs up, subscribe if new, guys. And with that said, I will catch you all in the next video. Before I finish that, this is a plug, not so much a plug, but I am working on a free beginner photo and video course for you guys. It's going to be around a half an hour to a 40-minute free course. I have tons of other courses in the mix, whether that's short film course, commercial course, mini documentary course, music video course. I have photo, video, and coaching. So I have the big boy stuff. But a lot of this stuff right now is in the mix. So I just wanted to preface that to you guys to kind of like spark that in your mind, that courses on this stuff they are in the works. And if I do street photography long enough, I may consider making a street photography course, but this would be down the road when I have more experience. So that is that. I just wanted to put that out there. I'll let you guys know when the courses are all coming and done. And with that, just do make sure to like, subscribe, and that's it. So I'll see you in the next video. Hope this helped. Till then, much love. Peace.